December 1872, Atlantic Ocean. A ship is drifting. Nobody steering, nobody on deck. A crew boards it, cargo untouched, belongings in the cabins, a cat still alive below deck. But the 10 people who were supposed to be on that ship vanished completely, forever. No explanation, no trace. A full British court investigation, and their official conclusion was just, "We don't know." This is the Mary Celeste, and this actually happened. Before anything else, you need to know who these people were, because this wasn't some random group of strangers thrown together on a boat. The captain was Benjamin Briggs, 37 years old, over a decade of sailing without a single serious incident, the kind of man who didn't drink, didn't gamble, ran everything by the book. People who sailed with him trusted him completely. And here's the thing that always gets me about this case. He brought his wife. His wife Sarah was on that ship, and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. You don't bring your wife and your 2-year-old on a voyage you think is dangerous. Briggs had done this route before. He was comfortable. He was confident. This was supposed to be a completely normal cargo run from New York to Genoa, Italy. 7 crew members alongside them, all hand-picked, all experienced. Briggs didn't work with people he didn't trust. So that's 10 people. A careful captain, his family, and a crew he personally chose. They left New York on November 7, 1872. The cargo was 1,701 barrels of commercial alcohol, industrial grade, used for fortifying wine, not for drinking. The ship was in good condition, weather looked fine, nothing unusual about any of it. And then they were just gone. December 4th, almost a month after they left New York, a Canadian ship called the Dei Gratia is crossing the Atlantic and spots the Mary Celeste drifting about 400 miles east of the Azores. Now here's a detail that hits differently when you think about it. The captain of the Dei Gratia, David Morehouse, actually knew Benjamin Briggs personally. They'd had dinner together just days before the Mary Celeste left port. Morehouse watches the ship for about 2 hours through binoculars. Something is clearly wrong. Nobody responding, movement all over the place. He sends his first mate Oliver DeVoe and 2 men over to check. And what DeVoe found, he documented all of it. This is in the official court record. The ship was structurally fine, no serious damage anywhere, all 1,701 barrels still sitting in the hold, untouched. Crew's belongings in their cabins, clothes, boots, pipes, razors, personal things, things you take with you if you're leaving for good. Sarah Briggs's jewelry still there, just sitting in the cabin. The ship's logbook was there. Last entry dated November 24th, 9 days before the Dei Gratia found her. Completely routine navigation notes, nothing alarming, nothing that suggested anything was wrong. And Sarah's sewing machine, still set up, mid-project, like she just stepped away for a minute and was coming right back. One thing was missing though, the lifeboat. So they left deliberately. They got in the lifeboat and they left a perfectly intact ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And whatever reason they had for doing that, it killed every single one of them. Because none of those 10 people were ever seen again. DeVoe sailed the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, hoping for a decent salvage reward. Instead, he got treated like a suspect. The lead investigator, Frederick Solly Flood, became almost personally obsessed with proving that the Dei Gratia crew had something to do with it. He had the ship torn apart looking for evidence. And his team did find a few things. A sword under the captain's bed with what looked like dried blood on it. Brown stains on the deck that also looked like blood. Strange marks on the bow that looked like something had struck it. Flood was convinced. Murder. The Dei Gratia crew killed everyone, staged the whole thing, sailed the Mary Celeste in themselves. Except none of it held up. The sword? Tested. Not blood. Rust and old residue. The deck stains? Also not blood. The marks on the bow? normal wear, weather damage. No charges, no evidence. The theory collapsed completely. But here's what made it worse. Even after clearing the De Gracia crew, the court still gave them a fraction of the salvage reward they deserved, because Flug never fully let go of his suspicion. And the case just closed. No conclusion. A British court in 1872 looked at everything they had and basically said, "We cannot explain this." So what actually happened to them? The theory I find most convincing, and a lot of maritime historians land here too, involves those alcohol barrels. When the ship was inspected at Gibraltar, 9 of those 1,701 barrels were empty. Not broken, not leaking anything visible, just empty. The barrels were red oak, slightly more porous than white oak, so it's possible they leaked fumes without actually spilling liquid you could see. Now think about what that means on a ship. You're in the middle of the Atlantic, and suddenly there's a strong chemical smell coming up from the cargo hold. You don't know if it's about to ignite. You don't know if there's been a slow leak building pressure down there for days. Briggs was a cautious man. He wasn't going to wait around to find out. So the thinking goes, he ordered everyone into the lifeboat temporarily, tie the lifeboat to the ship with a rope, let the hold air out, then reboard when it's safe. It's actually a reasonable call, not panicked, logical. But then, maybe the rope snapped, maybe the wind picked up suddenly, and the ship pulled away faster than they could row back to it. And in December, in the open Atlantic, in a small lifeboat with no shelter, you don't last long. That's probably what happened to them. That's probably how 10 people just disappeared. But here's what bothers me about even that explanation. The navigation equipment was missing. The chronometer used to calculate longitude, gone. The sextant, gone. Why do you grab navigation equipment if you're stepping off temporarily? You grab it if you think you're not coming back. So Briggs made a decision, a real conscious decision to leave that ship permanently. Something scared him badly enough that he grabbed his navigation tools, put his wife and 2-year-old in a lifeboat, and left a structurally sound ship behind. What was it? Some people point to a waterspout, basically a tornado over water, or an underwater seismic event. The Azores sit on geologically active ground. A sudden tremor from below could make a ship feel like it's going down when it isn't. If you felt the ship shaking violently with no visible cause, and you had your family on board, maybe you panic. Maybe you make a call you wouldn't make otherwise. But there's no record of unusual seismic activity in that area at that time. No other ships reported anything strange. And then there's what I think of as the Conan Doyle problem. In 1884, 12 years after the Mary Celeste was found, a young writer named Arthur Conan Doyle wrote a short story loosely based on it. He added details, a warm meal on the table, tea still steaming, much more dramatic than the real thing. People started repeating his fictional details as if they were facts. Newspapers ran them, books repeated them for decades. So half of what people know about the Mary Celeste isn't real. It's from a short story. The actual case is strange enough without any of that, but Conan Doyle made it a legend and made it nearly impossible to separate what really happened from what he made up. Even with the fumes theory, even if you accept it completely, there are things that just don't fit cleanly. The logbook's last entry puts the ship near the Azores on November 24th. The De Gracia found her on December 4th, 10 days later, about 700 miles from that position. That ship drifted 700 miles through open ocean, no one steering, through whatever weather December in the Atlantic brings, and it arrived in one piece. That's not impossible for a sailing vessel with sails partially set. Wind can carry a ship a long way. But it means the crew went into the ocean somewhere in that massive stretch of water between the Azores and where the ship was eventually found. In 1872, no satellite, no radio, no Coast Guard with helicopters. They had no chance. And the ship itself, it kept sailing after all this. Different captains, different crews, 12 more voyages without a single strange incident, until 1885, when its final captain deliberately wrecked it off Haiti in an insurance fraud scheme. He was tried for fraud later. The ship was gone. So the last physical piece of evidence, destroyed on purpose for an insurance payout. Benjamin Briggs has no grave. Sarah has no grave. 2-year-old Sophia has no grave. 7 sailors, no graves, no confirmed cause of death, nothing. A British court investigated. Maritime historians have spent 150 years on it. Documentaries, academic papers, books, and every single time the conclusion is the same: we don't know. What gets me about the Mary Celeste isn't the mystery itself, it's the smallness of it. We're not talking about a city disappearing, we're not talking about something massive and dramatic. 10 people, a wooden ship, the Atlantic Ocean, and we can't explain it. We live in a world where you can be tracked by your phone to within 10 feet, where DNA from a single hair can identify someone, where black box data gets recovered from the bottom of the ocean, and a wooden ship from 1872 still has a secret that nobody has cracked. That's the part that should sit with you. Because if 10 careful, experienced, prepared people could vanish completely, with no explanation, no trace, nothing, in the middle of the ocean, what else don't we know? If this one got you, subscribe. Every week we go deep on the cases and the history that never gets fully told. You won't want to miss what's coming next.